love how it always says, like, that's a deep and important question. It's always, like, reassuring. It's all, it's always like, that's a hard question, or, it's always like patting me on the head. To answer it honestly, capitalism can reward both good and evil, but it often has structural incentives that make rewarding evil more likely, or at least easier, and here's a breakdown of why. Okay, in regards to evil, it's just explaining exploiting workers, prioritizing profits over human welfare or the environment, deceptive marketing, lobbying to undermine regulation, short-term gains over long-term well-being. I think that's a big one right here. Short-term gains over long-term well-being. I think that is the number one issue, is people are only thinking about themselves and not the world they are building for our future generations, because people want to be selfish. They don't want to carry the weight or the thought or the effort of thinking about what are we leaving behind for our future generations, our kids, our neighbors, our friends, our family. Nobody up top is thinking that. They're only thinking about short-term gains. How can I buy that expensive car, that house, that yacht, yada yada yada. It's disgusting. Yeah, so capitalism is saying capitalism tends to reward these behaviors because profit is the primary incentive. Because our society, profit is the only thing that matters in relation to our society. Profit is everything. And I would say, honestly, it's the only incentive. Yeah, if cutting corners increases profit and there's little punishment, there's no punishment. There's none. Like Trump's big beautiful bill, like not regulating any AI for the next 10 years. Like, that's absurd. Honestly, I like to use AI. I'm actually a proponent to AI. I think AI is a beautiful, good thing that has come from hundreds of years of human labor and effort to get to this point. Everything is coming down a pipe. Everything has worked tirelessly in human effort and resources to get to the point where we can even have AI. Think about the Industrial Revolution and things becoming from machines and mechanism, from not even that, from horses and shovels to machines and machinery, to that machinery being able to help produce electricity, computers, and the computers evolving into being strong enough to actually become data centers and supercomputers to even power this. Like, the fact that you can get this kind of responses from like a computer is insane. Like, if you really dig deep in research on how this actually works, it's incredible. But it definitely comes with the cost of just society's ability to compensate, the government's ability to compensate for its general people. If the government cared, it wouldn't be this way, but they don't. It's the rich and elite government working together against the general populace, and me and you are the general populace. Wealth enables power, which works hand in hand with profit as the primary incentive. Externalities are being ignored. Yeah, so it's saying all the byproducts are being ignored. Pollution, climate harm, mental health damage from addictive platforms. None of these decisions are enforced by law. Look at all the data mining over resumes. Like, people, think about how fucked up this is. People are submitting job applications and resumes to find work, to be a part of society. And what do they get in return? They get ghosted and they get their information stolen. Because we don't have any backing. The general people do not have backing from the government, because the government doesn't give a shit about you. It doesn't care. They do not care, because they have proven time and time again that they don't care. They do not care, bro. Like, this world, it would be totally different with different leadership. We're coming up on a fork in the road with AI. On the left, you have the most beautiful life you've ever seen, where people don't have to work as hard. They can concentrate on families. There's a there's a universal income system. I don't want to get off on communism and everything, but that's a whole different topic. But on the left, you have this amazing world that could exist. It literally can happen. We are getting to a point where it literally can happen, but people can't work together. So on the other side, you have this like race to the top where you have all these AI companies competing for this power and control, and it's either going to go two ways. It's either going to go in this beautiful direction or this diabolical evil direction. History, unfortunately, has shown nothing but diabolical activities and evil and corruption with the government, so I'm not very hopeful. But maybe there is a chance. Maybe there's a chance with the objectiveness of AI, but who knows? I don't know how much they'll be able to regulate it and control it, and then, you know, the layering between what actually AI is doing and what's presented to the public is what's concerning, because it's just like any other propaganda. It can be like skewed in a way to their narrative. Wealth enables power. Ethics are optional. Oh my god. That statement alone. Ethics are optional. That is this is why I love asking ChatGPT this stuff, because you could spend hours googling, but like just that statement alone, whether it wrote that or found that, I don't know, but ethics are optional that is a crazy statement, dude. Ethics are optional, not required. Being ethical can be a marketing strategy, but it's not always profitable. Being ethical can be a marketing strategy. Dude, that statement, see, ChatGPT drops bangers, dude. Ethics are optional, not required. Being ethical can be a marketing strategy. A marketing strategy to be ethical. That's insane. That is an insane statement. Just alone, that alone is insane. And it's true. It's like this is 100% true. Uh, but it's not always profitable. Yeah, exactly. It's really not always profitable, because even if you have a company that you want to do things 100%, it's impossible to compete because you will get stomped. You, you will lose that share. I ran a small business with, to give you a sense of scale, I had like 3 to 4 people working with me. I won't go into the details, but basically, if I wasn't doing shady stuff too, I was not competitive. I could not compete. Um, for example, not reporting everything on my taxes. I had to ride and surf gray areas with my taxes. Not enough to go to jail, but I had to cheat the system in order to still stay competitive on my prices for things. That's just how it goes. That's how we're set up, because if we scroll back up, we can see, because we are prioritizing profits over human welfare or the environment. So if you think about it, when a bunch of people are cheating taxes to get ahead for their short-term gain, the long-term issue is, and this is also mixed with how the government spends its money, and, you know, that's a whole other thing, but if a bunch of people are shorting their taxes, and then a bunch of people are also doing shady stuff to make a buck, a quick buck, right? So you have a bunch of people going to jail for doing shady stuff, and then you have a bunch of businesses uh, cheating out, basically avoiding paying the government money, so the government is losing money. Okay, who do you think that affects most? Because I'm going to say it's our local government, aka our streets, our public school systems, like kids in school. All that shit is the first to get cut. Our police, our, first responders, everything that is around you. It's a rigged game. It's a race to the bottom. It's self-destructive. We're shitting where we eat. But I'm gonna keep going. This is the first video, and I want to make more, because I think that I just absolutely love asking ChatGPT this stuff. Uh, this is what I do in my free time because I'm just a hermit, I guess. All right. Notice, for one, notice all this under evil and then this short section under good. All right. So when capitalism rewards good, capitalism can also reward innovation, helpful services, and ethical behavior, which I agree with. I'm not saying it's all bad. Creating real value, creating intrinsic value. Uh, Entrepreneurs who solve real problems, clean energy, affordable medicine, useful tech, can succeed greatly. Consumer preference. More consumers are demanding ethical, sustainable, and fair trade products. This can shift incentives toward good. I agree with this. I think, I really do think people are becoming more aware, which is a good thing. A lot more is coming to light, and it might seem like society is losing its way and it's getting worse. I think it's the same. I think it's the same thing that's always been happening. It's just people are maybe waking up a little bit. I'm going to quote all the Gen Zs saying, waking up, coming out of the Matrix, stop being an NPC. I'm way too old to be using those words, but um, good PR is profitable. Some companies invest in doing good or appearing to because, or appearing to, oh my god, non-profit companies, right? Because it helps their brand and sales. Yeah, 100%. That's kind of more under up here in the evil section. I think so, but whatever. But these are contingent on market demand and awareness. If the public doesn't care or know, there's no economic reason to behave well. God, that's true. That is, oh my God. But these are contingent on market demand and awareness. If the public doesn't care or know, there is no economic reason to behave well, especially um, if there is no regulation by the government, if there's no legal repercussions for things. Why would you, when you can just run and frolic in, you know, in bad behaviors and to get ahead, to make more money? Like, why wouldn't you? It's unfortunate because I really do feel like I feel like these people that are way up top, these super elite, mega wealthy, I don't think they are really intelligent. I don't think Elon Musk is an intelligent person. I'm sorry, I don't think so. I think these people that are way up top, their money makes them intelligent because they are able to hire really intelligent people that need to make money for their families. So they can pay for the intelligence. That's all they do, is they pay for intelligence. Um, it's a race to the bottom. The problem is we don't have sustainability. We're not taking care of our environment. We're not building anything. Um, the the Earth is on borrowed time, just regardless, in relation to the lifespan of the sun. So I guess at the end of the day, the universe is a big place and none of this really matters anyway, but that doesn't mean that we should squat and shit all over ourselves either. Like, we should really do what we can to make our world a better place. But we don't. But at least people are talking about it. Like, I think social media influencers are the new age clowns, but at least a bunch of people are talking about it. At least people are kind of like thinking about it somewhat. Why evil often wins. Okay, short-term profit is easier than long-term integrity. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Long-term integrity is what we need. That's what we need to be thinking about. We need to be thinking about on a local government scale, on our community scale of people, on just a long-term format, not just short-term, in the moment, I need to make 300K to go buy that Lamborghini. Fuck that. You don't need these material things. That's not what's important. Because if we race to the bottom and there's nothing left, none of this money is going to matter, and people are going to be looking stupid as hell when there's nothing here. It's dumb. It's dumb. Like, people are so incredibly stupid sometimes. It's honestly leaves me in awe, in pure amazement, how stupid some people are. Oversight and regulation are often weak. Yeah, no shit. Regulation, there is no regulation. That's why they literally just are leaving AI fucking open to do whatever they care. Again, I am pro AI. I'm not in favor of people being ruthless and doing whatever they can to get ahead of the competition. Look at Grok in Tennessee and look that up before, like, do your research on these things. I don't think ChatGPT is perfect by any means, but just know what you're doing and what you're, even if you're searching for free and you're not paying for it, like, you're still using their service, you're giving them your time and efforts and data. So be careful who you invest with. I think they're all going to be kind of corrupt, but, the lesser of the evils at least. Yeah, oversight and regulation are often weak. Yeah, this comes down, regulation is weak. That comes down to a easily corrupted government officials where you have a bi-party system. Nobody can agree on anything, so it's like you have this constant power struggle. So instead of being like a team effort, and I'm talking about everything in the United States. I'm not going to talk about any other country because all I know is the United States. I do not think the United States is the greatest country. I think it's subpar. I think it's, anyway, I don't want to get off on that, but I'm not going to speak on other countries. I'm strictly talking about the United States. The regulation, it really does all come down to the guidance that is laid up out top, because everything can be under control. Everything can be regulated. It doesn't have to be a tyranny. It doesn't have to be some sort of like oppressive thing. It just needs to have some just general, hey, this is fucked up, we shouldn't do this, to our general public. And those systems are not there. Those systems are absent. They are not there. So this is why we are just in the state that we are in. And I think AI taking a bunch of jobs is not necessarily a bad thing, because a lot of, like, I've heard people use this example, and I've actually was thinking about this example too, is you had a bunch of people digging a hole before with shovels, breaking their back, and now we have a single operator with an excavator, and the excavator, did those people lose their jobs? Yes, but they don't have to kill themselves digging a fucking hole. They don't have to, like, resort to that. So, it's a catch-22, because people are losing their incomes. However, we have an old, antiquated system in a new age world, is really what it is. We have a boomer government in a new the technology and systems are in society is moving at light speed, and the government is still in Morse code. It's literally, it's so fucking, like, the juxtaposition between those two in terms of speed is obnoxious. And I want to say it's the boomer generation still in government, but I don't know what it is. But regardless, it doesn't matter. We need better local government, and we need to concentrate on it ourselves. We don't need to be sending a bunch of money to fucking, overseas. Like, I don't want to get off on that, but it's a fucking mess. It's a mess, and we have all these, like, crazy technologies, all these insane weapons and everything, but we're, like, missing the basics. It's just like when programmers make these amazing applications, but then they oversight all these basic functions. It's just such an oversight, and I think our public school systems is the best representation. If you look at the health of the public school system, is a good meter for how the United States is doing. A lot of people look at other things. For me, I look at the state of public education, not private. That doesn't count. The private education has its own budget. It can do whatever it wants to do, or whatever it can in its own bandwidth. But public education is a good meter for me. Systems are gamed. From Wall Street manipulation to tax avoidance. Tax avoidance is the biggest problem. Many of the biggest winners in capitalism operate in legal gray areas or outright corruption. I literally was just talking about these legal gray areas that you ride with taxes, because you have to, and you get rewarded. This is the problem, is capitalism rewards evil deeds. Like, I searched this and asked ChatGPT, but in my opinion, capitalism does almost 8 out of 10 times it rewards evil deeds. So what does that do? What does that incentivize? What do you think that will bring more of if you have a system that does that? Exactly. It's just going to reproduce. It's going to spawn that. It's just going to exponentially grow bad things. Look at all the shit in our food. Look at all the fucking... Just look around. Open your eyes and you'll see it. It's in your face. Everything, every corner of the internet is a grift to steal your money, because they don't regulate it. How many times a day do you get a phone call and it's someone that's scam calling you, or it's a data harvester? Because the government doesn't use... Dude, the first person that comes up with an AI that can like start to battle these scams and stuff, I will invest into that. That is, I don't invest into much. I will sink some money into that, because I want to see that grow. And maybe if I have the budget in the future, I'll start working towards something. I can't guarantee it, but who knows? The future is very unclear right now. In all categories and facets, it's very unclear. But it's so funny that it literally says these legal gray areas, because on my small scale, my business that had 3 to 4 employees, I was rewarded for writing these legal gray areas. So imagine, like, you can have all these workarounds where you're moving money around, or you let the company take the bankruptcy and you move the money around. Like, there's just no regulation. It all wraps back around to leadership. I'm not saying communism is the answer, because I think the system that's going to help fix everything doesn't exist yet. Let me say that again. I think the future system we need doesn't exist yet. It doesn't have any terminology associated with it yet. I don't know what it is, but because I'm just one guy talking on the fucking internet, but it does not exist yet. So if you say, oh, you're just a communist, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're a fucking idiot. I'm saying nothing exists for this yet, to fix this issue. There is nothing that fixes this issue in existence yet. It does not exist. We can't progress with the same system we have. It's clearly not going to work. It's not. It's at the end of its lifespan. People are talking about, oh, and an empire always falls at 250 years or whatever. Okay, that's probably on par. But I don't think we have to fail. I don't think we have to ride this like a captain going down with his ship, and we're just all wearing captain's hats. We don't have to do that, man. We can. Everything is fixable. It's just the elite and the government are working in cahoots, and they have a death grip on our world for some reason. But the legal gray areas, man. Without the system we need doesn't exist yet, and I think the new system is going to have an implementation of AI, communism, capitalism. It's going to take the best thing of everything and mash it together. I don't know what the fuck that is yet, but it's going to have to be. We're going to have to figure this out. We're going to have to team up. We're going to have to build, to be an actual body of people. Like, we're going to have to act like a body of people, and because we're all being hermits right now, we're all being like antisocial, and it's a free-for-all, and that doesn't work. We can't be a free-for-all and make this world work. It just will not work like that. Look at a colony of honeybees and look how they work together. You think about their intelligence scale compared to humans. Just think about that juxtaposition and how well honeybees work together. Is this a flaw of capitalism? I don't think so. I think, well, yeah, it says it depends right at the first fucking line. It depends how you define capitalism. In its purest form, it's a system of free markets and private ownership, but without ethical constraints, regulation, and social values, it can reward harm. This statement right here, without ethical constraints, regulation, and social values, it's not a can, it will reward harm. So it's not that capitalism is inherently evil, but it tends to reward those who most efficiently generate profit. Yeah, reward those who most efficiently generate profit. We must efficiently generate profit. Even if we have to feed babies chemicals that will kill them, we're gonna still make this money. So we're gonna it's the most efficient path. We have to kill babies to make this profit, regardless of the method. Boom, right there, regardless of method. Without guardrails, the evil path is often the fastest and cheapest one. Yes. And then you have people competing. So that's one entity doing the most evil, quickest path. Okay, now multiply that X amount of times, and it's a race to the bottom of evil paths. So you have to think about it like that. This is just talking about one entity, the evil path. So that's all I'm going to say is I don't, like I will say this about anything. I don't think it's one thing or the other, but I do think the common denominator, if I'm using that term right, is it all comes back to leadership. It all comes back to a weak government. And I know people will be like, oh, well, it's the land of the free. It's the land of the free for the elite, dude. It's not an actual free country. Yes, you have free will, but only to what you can afford. I think we can build a better tomorrow. We have the tools. It's just, we need better guidance from our government. And right now we have a boomer, slow, outdated government that can't keep up with tech, and it's showing really bad. In short, capitalism doesn't intend to reward evil, but unless shaped by laws, ethics, and public will, it often does. So, me and you, maybe we can't shape the laws and ethics, right? Because we're just insignificant. In this world, if you don't have money, you don't have power, and you are insignificant. So, we can't control this as much. What we can control is public will. You can control that. You can vote with your money. You do have that power. If you see Amazon doing evil shit, then you can stop buying on Amazon. Go to eBay. Shop on Target. Give your money to some other BlackRock platform, you know? Fucking BlackRock. But you can control public will. You can control that. This is the one thing that we can control, is public will. And that's a lot stronger than I think people realize.